Thank you so much for that introduction. Let's see if I can get this mic so you can hear me all. And thank you to everyone who put on this wonderful event today and hosted and set up. It's great to be here. And thank you all for coming and attending. Thank you to Kirsten, Marcus, Bruce Rasmussen, the entire Creighton Athletic Department and faculty, the Hall of Fame Committee, the academic staff, boosters, J-backers, and the Bluejay community for this incredible honor. I couldn't be more proud to be here, and I'm humbled to be honored alongside two very accomplished and talented women. Carol and Renee, you're both amazing. Congratulations on your inductions, very well deserved. Being here today is a true privilege. When Kirsten called me to let me know I was being inducted, I was really surprised and it was completely unexpected. And then very quickly I realized I had to give this speech and I was terrified. I thought, how in the world am I going to be able to come up with something that accurately reflects how grateful, how thankful, and what this means to me? It's impossible. And I thought to myself, Megan, you're Creighton educated, you've had a semi-successful professional career, you can do this. Let's go back to the basics. What are the components of a good speech? They're funny, they elicit an emotional response, but most importantly, they're short. Now, I think I'm pretty hilarious, but my friends and my husband will tell you otherwise. I'm 5.5 months pregnant right now, so I think I'm gonna be the only one with an emotional response, and we're gonna blame it on this baby. So my best bet is to keep this short. Unfortunately, this mic's making me feel a little powerful, and being in Omaha has me nostalgic. And I played here for 5 seasons, and I have a lot to say, so you all might want to refill your drinks, because we might be here a while. My volleyball career started well before I ever picked up a ball. As a kid, playing volleyball at Creighton was never on my radar, and frankly, I didn't even know it was available to me. I didn't know anybody who played collegiate sports at this level. I grew up a small-town Nebraska kid, the youngest of 3, and shockingly the shortest of 3, if you can believe that. And competition was fierce at the Bober household. I may or may not have sent both of my siblings to the hospital at one point, but I never managed to be there, so I'll let you decide who won out on that one. Thank you both to my brother and sister, Brett and Nikki, who are here today. Thank you for constantly picking on me and developing my thick skin so I'd later be unfazed by obnoxious crowds, for fueling my competitive spirit and never letting me win easy, and for developing my strategic thinking skills as I had to find clever ways to fight with you since you were both much stronger and physical than I was. I'm glad to say that we've grown from our early years, and they're both my biggest supporters and fans. Thank you to them, my parents, grandparents, and aunts and uncles for setting the foundation that I've been able to grow from. My love for the sport grew, and I officially started playing in middle school. My best friend Mallory, who's here today, can be credited with my foundational skill development. We would play volleyball against the roof of her house for hours and hours. We played 2-on-1, us versus the roof. And that's where I learned how to lose gracefully, as the roof won many more times than I'd like to admit. Also, thank you to her parents who never yelled at us for constantly throwing balls against the side, roof, and windows of their house. Our aim was not very good. Fast forward to high school, and my coach told me he had met one of the Creighton coaches in passing and somehow convinced them to come out to Murdoch, Nebraska for a game. I still don't know what convinced them to come, but I'm forever grateful they decided to take a chance on me. I was really raw and inexperienced, but I was athletic, I worked hard, and hated to lose. I remember talking to Kirsten before I signed, and she sold me on the vision. Creighton was still relatively unknown at the time, and they were actively building the program, but the year-over-year progress was tremendous. I remember a high school classmate at the time came up to me, and he will not be named, but said, "Creighton, are they even any good?" That just fueled my desire to prove him wrong even more, and to answer that very directly, yes, they are very good. Being a Bluejay was an opportunity to grow, to influence the trajectory of a program, and have an active role in making history. It was the chance to be part of a very rich culture, an amazing and supportive community, and get a great education. Becoming a Bluejay was a no-brainer for me. My standing here today would not be possible without the world-class coaching staff that we have. Thank you, Kirsten, Angie, Paul, Tom, and the many others who supported me along the way. I know I wasn't always the easiest on you, and I wasn't the best communicator. In fact, I think after I verbally committed, I didn't talk to the coaches for another 6 to 9 months. After that, I was just shy and scared and didn't know what to do. but I'm glad they had faith I'd pull through and didn't give up on me. My standing here today is also not possible without my teammates, and this honor is a shared honor with them. Volleyball is a team sport through and through, and nobody gets here alone. The fact that any of them showed up here today after we spent every waking hour together from the ages of 18 to 22 is pretty incredible. Thank you all for putting up with 20-year-old Megan and for always being the best teammates, sisters, and friends that a girl could ask for. I wouldn't trade the friendships that I've made for anything in the world, including the fact that I now live 15 minutes from Brooke in St. Louis. And what I'm even more proud of is the women that they've all become. Getting to spend the last day together has been amazing, and you will never find a more talented, motivated, kind, and accomplished group of individuals. I'm blown away by all of you. It's hard for me to pick a favorite memory, as there are many. We had lots of ups and downs, victories and losses, a ton of fun, and a few hard times. I think back to my redshirt year when Alicia Runge and I had to do extra conditioning that coach made us do before games, and we wouldn't be playing that evening. We ran the stairs of every stadium that we visited, and I vividly remember Illinois State's Redbird Arena, as that was particularly exhausting. We would play 2-on-2 versus Angie and Kirsten, and we would get so mad when they would beat us. But my all-time favorite was the day our weight coach made us do 100 glute ham raises as our entire workout before we could leave. And my legs are still sore from that. But don't worry, it actually wasn't Brad, it was someone else. I also think to our first home opener in DJ Sokol Arena and how special it was to have our own facility for the very first time and not to be playing on top of the ice at the Civic Center anymore. It was so cold standing there in a jersey and spandex every game. I think of our 2010 team and making it to the NCAA Tournament for the very first time. We were deer in the headlights and so out of our league. I'll never forget, Chris and Almgren and I did the post-match media after we beat Iowa State in the first round. One of the reporters asked us, "So how does it feel to beat the number 16 team in the country?" Neither of us had a poker face. We both looked at each other with complete shock. Did you know they were ranked 16th in the country? We sprinted back to the locker room to tell our teammates what we just found out. We were just so proud to be there, and none of us had a clue. I think of our 2012 team that was celebrated this weekend. We came off a disappointing finish the year before, and we had to rebuild. Morale was at an all-time low. We didn't know how the season would turn out. I remember our first tournament, after we beat a very talented Wisconsin team, we all did the wobble on the court and realized we were starting to build something special. We then stopped Northern Iowa's 59-match conference win streak and became the first-ranked volleyball team in Creighton history, later to go on to win the conference title. And these memories will stay with me a lifetime, but what's even more special to me standing here today is that there are so many firsts yet to come. What we dreamed of is table stakes for what the team has done today. The end is far from being written for Creighton Volleyball, and this team has a lot of firsts left in its future. Couldn't be more proud to be an alum of this program. And Creighton did more than just train me to be a good volleyball player and a teammate. Creighton taught me to think for myself, gave me the confidence to take risks, and allowed me to move to 3 different states after graduation. Also motivated me to be a female leader in a male-dominant industry in my professional life. So thank you again to the academic faculty and advisors for pushing us to be well-rounded student athletes. And lastly, knowing it's the 50th year anniversary of the passing of Title IX, I'd be remiss not to mention what it means for me and how special it is to be part of an all-female inductee class. I was talking to my Aunt Karen earlier this week, and she shared that she was in high school when Title IX had passed. She and her friends played every sport the school offered just so they wouldn't have to give any funding back, just for women to have the opportunity to play sports. We often take for granted the opportunities and privileges that we have. So thank you to Coach Booth, Angie, Ketch, and the rest of the staff for what you do for women in sports. You all model strong female leadership, and it's something I've carried with me since leaving Creighton. In closing, I'm sure you're all ready for me to be done talking, so much for keeping it short. But Creighton's given me more than I'll ever be able to repay. It holds some of my fondest memories and biggest lessons learned. Creighton means so much to me, and with each passing year, I realize how much it's positively impacted my life. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this honor. I'll forever cherish this, and will continue to be a proud alum. Thank you.